Hey everybody, my name is Brian Searle with Insider Perks, and many of you have seen me frequently in this channel. I host the weekly podcast, MC Fireside Chats, but this is going to be a little bit different, and I'd love for you guys to tell me if this is just valuable, not valuable, you care, you don't care, things like that. I have for a while now, for many of you who have either followed me in this group or more so followed me on LinkedIn, been a big proponent over the last year and a half, 2 years of artificial intelligence, of all the places that I believe it's going to take this industry, and how it's going to change the lives of most of you who are probably campground or RV park owners watching this video. And when I say impact you, I mean not just from a product discovery standpoint, because it's going to change how consumers find information about your campground and how they discover it. I don't just mean from a efficiency standpoint, although that's a big part of it that we'll discuss in this series of videos, but I mean from literally every aspect of every operation of everything that you do can either be assisted, changed, modified, discovered, rethought, rethunk, perceptions changed because of artificial intelligence. And I want to start off by saying that these series of videos are not going to be for everyone. There are a lot of you out there that are skeptical of AI, as you rightfully should be. I'm skeptical of portions of AI, but what I know from using it heavily for the better part of almost 4 years now, since 2020, long before it was ChatGPT, is that this has a lot of use for busy campground owners who have husband and wife teams, or small businesses who have 4 or 5 people on staff and your resources are extremely stretched thin. This is really a game changer for you guys. And so in this series of videos, we're going to go in all sorts of different directions. Some of them, like this one, the very first one that we're doing in the series, are going to be very basic. And so if you have played with ChatGPT at all before, you may know some of what I'm going to walk you through, and maybe you've played with it and this might be a little bit of a level up depending on what we end up discussing, which, by the way, is completely unscripted and unedited, even though it's not live. And for those of you who have never seen ChatGPT before, maybe you've heard about it in the periphery, maybe your kids have talked about it, I think you're going to be really fascinated with what we talk about in this video. And why I say that is because, for somebody who's so deep into AI, and when I say deep, I mean not just ChatGPT, I mean generating images, generating video, creating content, having AI talk for customer support through chatbots, having AI talk to you on the phone for 24/7 service at your campground. The list goes on and on and on. I'm really deep into AI, and sometimes I forget to step back and think about what it must be like for a small business owner who is not obsessed with AI like I am. And I recently gave a talk at the Florida Alabama RV Park Conference in Orlando. It's down there in May, and it kind of was a reset for me. I stood up in front of a class, I think maybe 100, 150 people, and it was all about AI, and we just did a live demo and talked them through ChatGPT, and the sheer amount of people who came up to my trade show booth after that and said I had never heard of ChatGPT before. I was up until 1 o'clock in the morning playing with it. This thing is amazing. It's going to help me do so many more things at my campground. I just sometimes forget to step back and realize that you guys are in your business like I'm in my business, but it just so happens that my business, by my own intention, is more AI focused than yours is. And I forget that we sometimes need to reset and go back to the beginning and show you guys all of these tools, because there's an assumption sometimes, I think, on my part and some of the geeky people's parts, that everybody knows all this stuff because it comes so easy to us. So what I would like to do through this series of videos is start with the basics. And you can see ChatGPT in front of you. And I want to just open your mind to what's possible. And what I want you to take away from this first video is not much. First, I don't want you to think about it like technology, because technology gives you an excuse to say that that's hard or it's difficult, or even if I learn it, I don't know how I'm going to keep up with it. It changes so fast, or I don't know how I'm going to train my staff, or the excuses become almost endless, right? And so if you don't think about it like technology, if you think about it as an assistant or a way to get yourself an extra set of hands, then it becomes a lot more easier to digest and look at from that perspective. Because even though it is really, really, really advanced technology, as you can see right in front of you, and what you'll be seeing in this demo, is it's very approachable and it's very easy to interact with, and it requires almost no learning curve, because I guarantee you every single person who's looking at me and watching this video right now knows how to send a text message on their cell phone. And if you know how to do that, then you can talk with AI. So, without further ado, this will be a beginner video, but we're going to stack these. I'm going to do as many of these as I can, and we're going to get to some really complex stuff later on down the road. We're going to talk about things where you'll probably look at Brian and be like, Brian, you're nuts. There's no way that that's actually happening. Are you crazy? And that's okay. You can think I'm crazy, and I might very well be wrong, to be clear. But I'm going to give you a really cool educated guess. We're going to explore some things that might or might not happen in the future with AI, because this stuff's coming really, really fast. And so I just want to do my part to help you guys be educated throughout this video series, which has the blessing of Mark Kep. We are not going to be ever talking about products or services. That's not what this is about. This is only about educating you guys and giving you the tools necessary to help you learn artificial intelligence within the outdoor hospitality, campground, RV park, glamping space. So all that being said, hopefully the next video I won't have to get all of that off my chest, but let's go ahead and get started. So what you're looking at right in front of you is the interface for ChatGPT. And if you have never been to this before, I'm going to type in this little box down here because you can't see my address bar. I've just got the screen cropped on my share. But you just have to go to chat.openai.com, or I think you can go, well, no, let's go to chat.openai.com. I think someone else owns the other domain I was about to say. But chat.openai.com should take you there. You can also go to chatgpt.com, and that should take you there as well. When you get there, you should be able to sign up for an account at a company called OpenAI. If you've not heard of OpenAI, again, just basics here, right? If you've not heard of OpenAI, they were a company founded, I don't know, 2014, 15, something like that. Correct my facts, so everyone who wants to comment on this. And they were founded by Elon Musk and Sam Altman and a few other people, and Elon has nothing to do with the company anymore, but that's kind of the basics of where they got started. Microsoft has put billions and billions of dollars into the company, and they really just came onto the scene in a big, huge way from a public perception in November of 2022 when they launched ChatGPT. So create a free account there. Doesn't cost you anything. When you log in, you're going to see this interface right in front of you. It's that easy to get started. And then you're going to see a couple things here. So number one is up at the top left, you're going to see the ability to choose a model. And again, we're going to go into all this, right? So I'm going to slow walk this. If you want to fast forward through all this and you know all this already, great, go for it. I'm trying to just be conscious of everybody who's never heard of AI before, who doesn't understand all this lingo. So there are different types of AI models within OpenAI itself. And it's important to understand too that, and we're not going to talk about them in this video, but there are other companies who also have AI models who do things that are very similar to what you see or will see in this video ChatGPT do. So in the top left corner, you're seeing three basically choices for different models that you can use. Now, you may not have all these choices if you're on a free account, but you should have at least GPT 3.5, and you should have at least GPT-4o. Oldest model that came out, so old, think of it like software versions, okay? Oldest model since it first came out, this is what was released in November of 2022. GPT-4 was released in about March of 2023, so 4 months or so after this. And then GPT-4o just came out about maybe a month and a half ago. They just announced that, probably about a month. And so this is the latest and greatest model. You used to, on a free plan, only have access to 3.5, but now they've made 4o available to you in limited capacity on the free plan. And so I would take advantage of that. It's a much smarter, more capable model. and I would always make sure that you're using that if you want to get the best quality output. And we'll explore a little bit about that in a second. And then there is a paid plan for OpenAI. If you find that this is useful, I think it's certainly worth it. It costs $20 a month to sign up. US, if you're watching this in Canada, it's a little bit more expensive for you. But $20 a month for what you're about to see me go through, I think you'll probably tend to agree, is something that is well worth it. So let me just show you real quick the difference here. So if we click on ChatGPT 3.5, that's all we have to do. It will start to use that model. And then we can come down here and we can say, write me a song about camping. And it will write you a song. And it's a pretty good song. Underneath a starlit sky, a canvas of dreams, where nature's symphony plays in whispering streams. Like, I don't have a beat, right? So I'm reading it like poetry. But you can see it's a decent kind of song, right? But it's all rhymey at the end, and it doesn't really flow like a song does. So if you take that same prompt, and this is what we call a prompt, by the way. So when you type something in and hit enter, when you type something in period, you're prompting the AI to do something for you. That's what a prompt is called. If you go to GPT-4o and you switch here, and then we'll just create a new chat over here. I think I can do that. And you say, write me a song about camping. Then you can see this is just a little bit better, right? Again, we don't have necessarily the beat to the song or anything like that, but you can start to see that it's just a little bit better quality of writing. And that's ultimately what we want to do, is if we can have better quality of writing, we want to go after that. If you need to stay on the free account, then use 4.0 until it says you're at quota, and then switch to 3.5 for other things if you don't want to pay for it. So, okay, so with all that being said, instead of me talking here, I want you to just get used to AI being your assistant. And what I mean by that is this thing can literally answer any question that comes into your head. So as you're watching this video, and we're going to talk about things that are beneficial for campground owners to know about AI, we can just ask it that question. So if you're uncertain about technology or how to learn or what you can do with this, all you literally have to do is start by asking. So let's ask. Come down here. I am a campground owner, and I am skeptical about AI, as well as uncertain about how it could be beneficial to my daily campground operations. I would like to learn and see the potential, but I have no idea where to begin. Okay, now before I hit enter, I want you to look at something. What I just typed in there, we already discussed, is called a prompt. You could type in, what can I do with AI? Which is what most people will do. And you'll get an answer. What can I do with AI? And it will answer you. It will talk about customer support with chatbots and virtual assistants. It will talk about, and again, these answers will be different every single time. Data analysis, automation, marketing, healthcare, education, finance, manufacturing. I don't know what it's going to say. So smart homes, retail, creativity and content creation, travel and hospitality, specific applications for your business, and on and on. I don't know how long this is going to go. Hopefully it won't go too long. And so you can do that, and it will give you an answer. But what I want you to remember throughout this video is that the input here, what can I do with AI? The input equals the quality of the output. So now let's start over and do what we were going to do before. I am a campground owner and I'm skeptical about AI, as well as uncertain about how it could be beneficial to my daily campground operations. I would like to learn and see the potential, but I have no idea where to begin. Now, it will give you an answer as a campground owner, integrating AI into your daily operations. And it will talk about things that are specific to campground owners. So the better the input, the better the output. So if you take time and you frame this as this is a person I'm talking to, like it's not, right? But think about it like that. The more clear instructions you give to somebody, the more helpful they can be to you. If you say clean the campground to one of your staff members, they could choose to clean the bathrooms like you want them to, or they could go take a leaf blower and blow leaves off a site. One of two ways gets you what you want. But if you're very specific with that employee, if you want the bathroom to be clean and say, can you clean the bathroom at the campground, then you're going to get a better result or a better output because your prompt to that employee was better. So let's look at its answer here. Reservation management, AI-powered booking systems. Those don't exist quite yet. Dynamic pricing is something we can't, obviously we have in the campground industry, but we can't really, control that. We don't run the software. Customer service, we talked about chatbots, the availability to do that. Personalized recommendations, so operational efficiency, marketing and customer insight, security, and a few other things. So if you guys want to duplicate any of these prompts, please feel free to on your own ChatGPT. We're not going to spend too much time on this, but I just want to show you what's possible. So if you have a question, you can ask here. And then you can, if you're interested, continue the conversation. So this is where it starts to get really powerful, right? So if I come here and I say, let's pick out one of these. I'm interested in, let's just say, targeted marketing, okay? We'll just copy paste that. We'll come down here, say I am interested, and you don't have to copy paste it. It's just a quick, easy way for me to do this. I'm interested in targeted marketing. Can you expand on that? And you can have a conversation with it. And it will remember up above what it talked about, and then it will begin to break down what you ask it to break down. So it will say targeted marketing leverages AI to analyze customer data and create personalized marketing campaigns, et cetera, right? So benefits of targeted marketing with AI, increased engagement, higher conversion rates, cost efficiency, all that sounds good, right? Targeted marketing, but it's probably a little bit above most people's heads who run a small business because you're not marketers, you're not geeks like me. And that doesn't mean to say that I'm better than you. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm a lot worse than you, truth be told. But it means that we all have different skill sets. I'm a geek. I like marketing, advertising, social media, technology, things like that. You guys are really smart business people who run campgrounds. If you sat me behind a campground desk, I would have absolutely no clue where to start, what to do, how to manage it, anything. So I think we're going to start off with something a little bit new here. And so let's go here. And I want you to understand, first off, that you can chat with this thing, but it also has several other capabilities, including browsing the internet. So we're going to use one of my favorite examples here, I guess, to give is Verde Ranch RV Resort in Arizona. They were an early partner for us with some of our AI experiments. And so you can come here and you can say, learn about Verde Ranch RV Resort.com. And you can use this with your own property, by the way. You'll see it says searching the web. It will search for their website, and it will pull back a summary from their website for you. So you can see it's got all that stuff. You can see it citing where it got it from the website. Here it's some campsite photos. For more detailed information or make a reservation, you can go there. Okay? So now that we have a little bit of information about here, and you can either do it this way or you can take information from your website and copy paste it into here and teach it. You can say learn this, learn about this text, and then paste the chunk of text from your website if you want to give it a more robust data set or way to answer. Now that you have that information in here, I want to show you what's possible from a marketing standpoint, okay? So let's say I am beginning my campground season, which Verde Ranch really isn't, but in Arizona, but I'm beginning my campground season, and I am down in camper nights. I need to understand why. Can you give me the top 2 potential reasons? And I'm purposely just cutting it off for the purpose of our demo, right? But top 2 potential reasons. And it will listen to you. Number 1, economic factors. 2, competition and market saturation. There's clearly more than that, right? But we asked for 2. So let's say it's economic factors, okay? Great. I think it's number 1. Can you tell me if I am a campground located along the highway am not a destination campground, but a place people stop along. Boy, I really can't type today, can I? To somewhere else, comma, how can I change the way I do marketing to target a new audience when not as many people are taking long trips? Input, output. Take the time. If your campground, which Betty Rancho RV Resort is not, by the way, but if your campground is primarily a stopover along the highway, shifting your marketing strategy to attract a new audience can help mitigate the impact of fewer long-distance travelers. Here are some strategies to consider, and it will give you an answer. Target local and regional travelers. Focus on unique amenities and experiences. Leverage digital marketing. Now, all this stuff is probably, you're looking at this like, wow, that's great advice, but like, I'm a campground owner, I don't study marketing, this is a little bit confusing for me. So sometimes you just need it explained easier to you. For example, if someone was trying to teach me how to change a busted sewer pipe at a campground, you would for sure have to talk to me like a kindergartner in order for me to grasp that. We're not going to go that low because I think you guys are way smarter than that. But let's look at this. So we've got our answer here, and I want to show you what AI can do for you. Great, but I am a novice at marketing. Talk to me, explain it to me like a fifth grader and give me analogies. And it will do that. So imagine your campground is like a lemonade stand. Right now your lemonade stand is set up on a quiet street where people usually pass by on their way to a big park far away. But fewer people are going to the park now, so fewer people are stopping by to buy your lemonade. Here's how you can get more people to visit your lemonade stand even if they aren't going to the park anymore. Attract local neighborhood kids. Make your stand more fun. So let's look at this from a campground perspective. Attract locals from a nearby city. Give people a reason to come. Wine tasting, amenities. Spread the word online. Digital marketing. Make yourself easier and more easy to book. Team up with other campgrounds in the area, or even local businesses or things like that, right? So it just gives you an analogy and a way for you to easily understand it. And then you could say, great, write me a song about that. And it will write you a song about that. In a small town by the highway where the travelers used to roam, there's a little place, a hidden gem, a campground you can call home. But now the roads are quiet and the campers pass on by, so we're changing up our story, going to catch their eye. Not too bad. So now you've got a song, right? Or you can say, great, but I would rather that be funny and sarcastic. And it will rewrite the song. So we're changing up our game. We'll lure the locals in with flair and a ridiculous campaign. Hey, local folks, come stay with us. Our campground's the bomb, no fuss. Weekend trips are just tonight. We've got the stuff that's pretty tight. Stay for the laughs or just the s'mores. We'll welcome you through our campground doors. So it will do that for you. So what I want you to understand is just literally, if you have a question, if you're stuck, if you don't know what to do, how to do it, what kind of question, this will literally give you the answer to any question that you ask. And all you have to do is type in a box, or if you download the mobile phone, you can actually talk to it and it will answer you like a personal assistant in a human-sounding voice. And so you can do everything from accounting, and it knows everything on the internet, by the way, almost. And so you can say, actually, I need help with my taxes. Understanding tax obligations, LLC, deductions and credits. Give me specific ones applicable and often overlooked for campgrounds in Texas. Now again, no one's saying you should take this at face value. You should certainly hire one of the many brilliant people who do accounting specific to our industry. But here's a starting point for you. property tax, sales tax, franchise tax, employment taxes, federal tax deductions, things like that. Actually, I need a waiver for my swimming pool. Here's the sample waiver that it's about to write you. Now, is that as good as hiring a lawyer? Absolutely not. But that's a good starting point. It's better than not having anything. Actually, I want to renovate my RV sites. They're older and need an update. What are some things I can't miss? I need to know. And it will just seamlessly switch topics. So you have now in your hand an assistant that is an accountant, that is a lawyer, that is a marketer, that is a website designer, that is a public relations specialist, that is a somebody you can talk about accessibility and safety and recreational facilities and construction and amenities and give you guidance and talk about all the things, right? And so you can take this as far as you want. You can say, remember Prairie Ranch RV Resort? I want to create 4 buyer personas for that park. Figure out 4 social media posts to target each persona. 2 blog titles for each one. A strategy for Facebook ads and a press release. And it will do all that. It will give you a buyer persona. And you may not always agree with this stuff. It doesn't mean that AI is right just because it spits it out, but in many cases it is. And so now you've got this assistant here that can 10x your work, 100x your work. These are things that would take you hours and hours out of your day, even if you're just sitting down behind a computer and going to Google and trying to search for something and figure out a website and click through it and read it and say, well, that gave me some of the information or none of the information, and then I got to click back and look for another website. That's very time consuming. Now, is this the best social media post you're going to get out of here? Is this the best press release you're going to get out of here? Absolutely not. You should never take these things at face value. But as you start to use these more, as you start to get more familiar with prompting and how you can get the result that you want out of AI, you're going to get better and better content. So you should never start here. You should never copy paste. You can, like I've never seen it repeat too many things verbatim, but you should learn how to prompt this to get better results, to get better social media posts and better PRs and things like that, right? And that's still where a lot of the specialty people come in. It's the same thing we talked about accountants and lawyers. It's the same thing for marketers. But this is just a starting point. This is going to give you all that stuff. So I think I don't want to go too much further in this video, but I want you to imagine the possibilities here. And I know it seems overwhelming when you frame it as technology, but I just want you to go sign up for an account. And I just want you to sit there on your phone or on your laptop in the precious few hours, precious few minutes that you get during the summer as a campground owner. And I just want you to play with it and have fun. It doesn't even have to be business related. And one of the early conversations I had with somebody who was like, I'm not sure how to use this. I don't know what it's going to do for me. I said, just go home when you're sitting on the couch with your kids at night and you're watching a movie and open it up and say, who's the actor in that movie? What other things did he star in? Can you tell me a little bit more about who he's married to or who his kids are or what some of his co-stars have been? If you're sitting there with your kids and they're young, write me a bedtime story that includes Sally and Nate and talks about their adventures going camping at this RV park, and it'll write you a story and you can read it to them. And the more you start to talk to it and the more you start to realize the capabilities of what this thing can do for you, the more you're going to start to use it. And then you're going to come back and watch some of these advanced videos that we're going to give you, and you're going to really pick up some stuff, I think. And so I know there's a hesitancy here, but really this is something that if you're hesitant about, all you're doing is slowing yourself down. And I don't even mean from an innovation standpoint. I mean from a pure, you're only 2 people or 4 people or 6 people or however many are on your staff. And if you're a smaller park, you're running around cleaning bathrooms and changing and fixing busted sewer pipes and cleaning off sites and making sure your housekeeping's done and all the things that you have to do. And you don't have time. And if you want to claw back some of your time, well, you could go out and hire 10 people if you have the budget for that. Or you could just go right here and speed up some of the regular things you do throughout your day and through your tasks. So start to play with it, start to understand it, and we're going to have some other cool videos in the future about this. So I don't know where we're going to go with this, what direction we'll go in. It probably depends on what I'm thinking about for the day. But this is one of the most important things that we need to set the groundwork for, is just playing with it, learning with it, understanding what it's capable of. And then in some of the future videos, I'm going to start to talk to you about how you can use it as a tool to get more efficiency at your RV park or your RV resort or campground. I'm going to start to talk about how this is going to dramatically impact consumer behavior and how they discover your campground. For example, if you open this and you say, I want to travel to Dallas, Texas, what are the top campgrounds in the area? You better believe there are hundreds of millions of people using ChatGPT, and have been for the last 2 years, that are planning trips this way and not through Google anymore. So you can see this is heavily favoring state parks at the top, the Dallas Arlington KOA, the Vineyards Campground and Cabin, and Traders Village RV Park. If you are an RVer who has never been to Dallas before, and you don't understand how big of a city it is, and you don't understand that Fort Worth is right there, and you don't even know what side of the city you want to stay on. If you're looking at this list, this is the Bible to you. These are the top 5 parks in Dallas, Texas. And if you're not on this list, you don't exist. And I know that the tone of my voice just changed, but you're gonna see we're gonna do some of the more serious videos here, and you guys really need to pay attention to this. Because if you're a Dallas RV park and people are travel planning with this tool, and you're not on this list, again, I know I've said it and I need to say it again, you don't exist to hundreds of millions of people and more by the day. And this is not just ChatGPT. This is Google that is launching AI and AI overviews like this in its search results. This is Apple that just announced AI being integrated with Siri on the iPhone that's coming this fall, and that's going to change the way consumers discover, because they're going to be able to ask this question about Dallas, Texas to ChatGPT right on their phone without ever looking at Google. Okay? This is the AI assistants that you see in Facebook and Meta. Well, Facebook and Meta are the same thing. Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram. Okay? These are the AIs that you're seeing on Bing and Microsoft Copilot. These are the AIs that are coming soon to an Alexa device near you. You're going to see it already on Siri. Apple announced that in their speakers. And you're going to see it very quickly in Google Assistant speakers. You're seeing it put in glasses that people are going to wear. You're going to see it in earbuds. You're seeing it in pins that people have invented. It's going to be absolutely everywhere. And all of a sudden, you went from a place where people discovered you in 2 places on social media and Google, and that's all you had to worry about, to making sure that if your park is in Dallas, Texas, and you want to show up for this search result, you now have to optimize 40, 50, 80, 90, 250 different places. And I know a lot of you are probably looking at me like right now, either you're saying one of 2 things. Holy shit, how am I going to do that? And sorry if I offended you by saying shit, but it's a serious situation. Or you're going to say, I don't understand what that means, or I don't think that you're correct, or I think people will just forever use Google. But they won't. Google will still be there, and certainly there's a large segment of the population who will still use Google. But all the people aren't using Google anymore, and they're going to continue to get less over time. So we'll have a separate video where we talk about all those things and we dive into some of that stuff. But it's very important that you pay attention to AI. It's not very important that you pay attention to me. There are plenty of people who know AI. In fact, you can go to ChatGPT and you can say, build me a course about AI. I'm a campground owner. Build me a course about AI and tell me the top 10 most important things I need to learn to keep up with the times. And it will build you an outline. And then you can say, write me section 1, write me section 2, write me section 3. And you can create your own course to learn AI, if that's the way you prefer to learn it. But you need to learn this from somebody. Because, yes, people change slow. People are hesitant to change, just like you are. I appear to be the only one who's broken, but and loves change. But this is coming, and this is going to dramatically impact your business in profound ways. This is the biggest change to how consumers discover information since we went from paper to the internet. And that's probably underselling it. So I will be here to help you if you guys want me to be here to help you. And I will try to talk you through this with no reason for anything else. You'll never see any plug for products or services or anything else here, right? If you're willing to listen. So if you like this, I don't know, do that thing. Like, I'm not a big social media person, right? But, like, I don't know, leave a comment. Is it down there? Is it up there? Is it left, right? I don't know. Leave a comment, leave a like. Tell me what you would like to learn about AI if you've made it this far in this video. And we'll try to get there and work through it together and have the campground industry be as prepared as we possibly can for the future that's coming, so that you guys can be way out ahead of it and make sure that you get as much business as you can at each one of your RV parks. Thanks, guys, and we will talk in the next video. See you later.